It's quite stressful because nowadays everyone's like constantly surrounded by social media and standards of what's perfect and what's not. So it's quite stressful trying to live up to the standard we have for teenagers now.
There's a lot of like pressure to like do good.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it sucks because you're expected to act like an adult, but then you're treated like a child, which sucks.
I can't even imagine how you guys feel being young today. Growing up, we had none of the technology that you had. It was just coming into play, and having all of the pressures from what you think other people are living, with what you see on Instagram, with what you see on TikTok, with what you see on Snapchat, thinking that that's what everybody else's life is like all the time. You got to remember, right? It probably took them 100 different shots to get that one perfect picture. You don't see the friends that are laughing at them in the background. You don't see the different angles that they might take the pictures from. So I can't imagine all the pressure of being perfect that it places on you guys today.
A lot of people judge you for being younger, especially when they find out your age. It's just really hard to kind of talk to a person once they think lower of you, I guess.
To be young in today's world, it's easier to be influenced by the bad things, but it's also easier to find opportunities to fulfill the good.
Facing is just a completely new frontier that their parents didn't experience. I think in the past, every generation has been able to pull more from the one before them than our current generation can. They're experiencing so many things that we have no precedent for.
Your daily life.
Because while you're growing, there's a lot of like stress that you like aren't ready for, and if you have God there like with you, it's easier to get through it, and you have like someone to talk to about it.
Yeah, it's like with a plant, you want to like water it and take care of it while it's young, so when it grows up, it'll be healthy.
One of the things I love to really make sure I press with students is that there's not a single mistake you can make in your entire life that will stop Jesus from fulfilling his plan for you. But at the same time, the choices that you make in your youth really do outline the challenges that you're going to have as an adult, or kind of either the ease or the difficulty that you have for the rest of your life. So while there's no mistake that you can make that God can't redeem, the choices, good or bad, really do frame the future that you have. And so the kind of the vices or the sins that you may give into in your teenage years are going to have lasting implications and be challenges that you fight for the rest of your life. And so you really do have a lot of power to shape your future and what you want your future to be like now.
So growing up, you've probably heard the term habits. Habits are what is going to carry into your adult life as you move forward. So building the good connections with other youth and with other people, and especially your connection to Jesus, is going to be important as you move on later on in life, because what you have grown up with typically comes out in the end. I'll give you an example, like for myself, right? When I was growing up, all the way elementary school and middle school, every Sunday we were at church. Every Sunday we were in Sunday school. Every Wednesday night we were in that. And then life got busy. Life got busy to the point where we kind of stopped going because we had sports. We had other clubs that we were in, all of these different things. Now eventually, probably 5-10 years after getting out of college, there felt like something was missing in my life. And I eventually turned back into getting back into the rhythm of going to church. So all of these connection points that you're making in your youthful days are going to carry you through your adult life. Keep building those habits and maintain those, and hopefully you guys won't take that step away, unfortunately, like I did.
Reading the Bible.
I usually talk to like my other Christian friends, and then we like bounce ideas off of each other, and we can talk about it and remind each other.
I would say the biggest thing that you can do is stick with people who are reliable and who already have like a base in Christianity, who already like, you know, are kind of educated on the Bible and know what they're talking about. It's just easier when you have someone like a mentor or someone to like guide you through it.
I like to read the Bible, but also my friends and I do Bible studies together a lot, so that helps. And then we go on church retreats whenever we have the chance.
I think that when we're young, we think that a relationship with God is something that we're going to achieve at a certain age. I think we look at our leaders, especially in youth, and just assume that they've reached a point where it's become easy or where it's become natural. And I think in growing up, one of the biggest realizations has been that that's a myth, and that there's no point where we reach this, like, it's simpler and I just have the relationship with God that I want. And I think realizing that, just like with any relationship, the most important part is continued daily investment.
So I've definitely taken a couple pages out of your guys' book and using the technology piece. Just using something as simple on my phone, that Bible app, YouVersion. I try to get on that every day, jump in the conversation, using the different devotionals, being able to kind of use that quick little 5-second time frame in order to be able to build those habits.
Some ways that I've continued to grow my faith is by connecting with the church. So being a Christian, it's a really hard thing to do by yourself, but plugging into a community, plugging into these like church friends, it makes it a lot easier. So going on the mission trips, coming to midweek, going to youth like on Sunday, doing the local missions, doing all those like extra things, while sometimes it's kind of like, oh, I kind of want to sleep in. It's a lot more rewarding just to end up going, because it really does help you like grow that faith. It helps you stay close with it, and it helps like build a community to help like grow with you.
Yeah, I agree. Just keep going to church, keep being involved with everyone in the church, and you know, maybe you don't show up to church one Sunday. You know, you can still go on your phone. The Bible's right there on your phone, and you can go look up some scripture and just learn about it, or go on TikTok, or look up some Christian stuff, and you know, go watch some stuff. There's some really good content out there that you can just find for yourself and keep growing.
A lot of loss in my family and my friend's family has definitely challenged me a bit, and then friendships have definitely tested my relationship with God and Jesus, but I think that only pulls you closer.
Other than being like busy with work and school, it's just been myself. Like, I don't take the time to like read my Bible or pray.
So the biggest challenge for me, I think this is for a lot of people, was definitely COVID. It shut down 2020 for me, part of 2021 for me, for the most part. You know, just like isolating, pretty much. That's one word to describe as isolation. Isolated me from other people, isolated me from, you know, my faith in some ways. It was harder to build relationships and strengthen relationships with other people in my youth group that I knew. Especially with God, because I mean, one-on-one relationship is good. It definitely strengthened me in some aspects of my faith with God, my relationship with God. But in terms of sharing my faith with others, being open about it, that COVID was definitely one of those challenges. I wouldn't say stalled it, but modified it. That's basically how I say it.
So mine's kind of the opposite, because I feel like COVID almost got me back on the right track. And before COVID, and I was in middle school, and the friend groups I was hanging out with, they weren't bad. They were always fun to hang out with. They just weren't growing my faith, because a lot of them didn't have the same set of beliefs that I did. So we never really talked about any of that stuff. We kind of just hung out like during the school week and occasionally on weekends and stuff. So yeah, you need a right friend group, or it's gonna slow your faith down.
I think what's surprised me is the thing they probably harp on you most as a child has continued to be the truest, which is that the support system you surround yourself with makes the biggest difference in your life. And finding that balance between having your support system who builds you up in Christ and that lending to your ability to reach outside of your support system really is just the biggest make or break you'll ever have.
So the importance of picking a mentor is huge. Not only is having somebody that you can ask the questions to, but also who it is that you can ask those questions to. We are directly a result of those that we surround ourselves with. So depending on what your inputs are, if all of my advice is coming from the internet, coming from Hollywood, coming from music, there might not be that good input into our lives. So having somebody that kind of speak not only truth, but also words of wisdom based off of what God instructs us to do is going to just allow a good throughput of what we try to do in these days.
Importance of a mentor is that they're there to guide you through whatever you're going through and help you lead you on the right path. The same way how the disciples just didn't start out with their faith and just go on by themselves. They had Jesus be there for them and guide them to the place where they should be, and so they can grow more and connect more.
The importance of a mentor is that, you know, they're there for you, and they have to teach you the Christian beliefs and help you with whatever questions or anything you need. Especially really important on this trip that we're going on, for us to look up to, in case whether we need something or we don't know something, they're always there for us. They're always there for you too.
I think mentors are really important to your journey as a Christian, just because there's so many experiences in your life, and there's going to be very few to none that no one else has ever gone through. So you have these mentors who've gone through the same things you have, even if they haven't gone through it recently. They could be older, they could be younger, but they're able to help guide you, and they can give you, guidance, they can give you advice, they can be a shoulder to cry on if that's what you need. But they're able to have this relationship with you to help you stay connected to God and give you advice on what to do that's the godly path for your life.
Well, personally, I came to church, and then I got a big group of friends, and we kind of do these like break-off Bible studies, and I started meeting so many mentors and just so many people who were so educated on like the Bible, and they were just like so God-driven. It just felt like because they knew so much more than me, they could impact me so much more than anything else. So I just started talking to them and having conversations with them, and that's what's helped me so much with that, and they became my mentor.
I think it's important to have a mentor so you can understand your faith and like how it can be, and like you can like look at them and see how good their faith is, and that's what you could have with yours. And you pick the right one because they're dependable, they're trustworthy, and you can tell that they have a really good relationship with God, which is what they're trying to help you get.
I think there's the obvious things, like obviously you want someone with the same priorities as you, but I also think finding someone whose just story and whose passions click with your own. You can have someone who, loves Jesus and loves you and wants to see you do the best, but if you guys don't, if the same things don't fire you up, if you don't value the same things in life most, then the way they speak to you just might not translate. And so I think finding someone who's really kind of living out the life that you want is usually going to make the best mentor.
They should take every opportunity they have to grow and to take chances, and know that in many, many years people won't remember you, or if they do, they'll remember all the spontaneous stuff that you did and how you just enjoyed life. So go through with a smile.
The advice I give is just you stick with it. Keep going, keep showing up. Even when it feels like you might not be there, or you're asking yourself, what am I even doing here? Always just keep showing up, keep the faith, and ask any of us if you have any questions, or just keep going.
I think it's really important to pursue a relationship as a Christian when you're younger, just because it's like kind of like a habit stacking thing. So the habits you build now when you're younger, the ones you're gonna fall back on when you're older. So having that there, even if you don't have the closest relationship to God when you're younger, you can always pursue it more later. But having that background, having that something to build on, I think is really important, because it's gonna help you set your life up for it.
To come to church and be a part of it, because if you're a part of it, it's so much easier to grow your faith. And
it's a lot more fun to be involved, because it makes church more than just sitting there and listening to somebody talk.
Hey, so I was always told that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. So being able to use this time where you're young, where you're like a sponge just absorbing everything in, now is the time for you guys to be able to kind of get the information, really build that relationship, because 20 years from now, it's going to be absolutely amazing to see what God has done in your lives.
My advice is I would, again, say surround yourself with people that are like-minded of you, because ever since I started hanging out with this group of people I hang out with now, I feel like I've just been a lot better off in the last 2 years than prior to that, because you really don't know what you're missing out on until you get a friend group that is able to help you grow your faith and they go through the same things that you do.
The biggest piece of advice I could give would just be to continue to do the next right thing. In the teenage years, I think there's so much pressure to plan out your entire life right now, and if I don't make these grades, I can't get into this college or this program, and then the whole career I want is gonna, just break into pieces, and I have to do everything right at this exact moment. And I think the most important part is that if you continue to just take the next right step at every point in your life, God is gonna lead you to the place where His work is fulfilled. And though it may not always look the way we expect it to, at the end of the day, that's the most important part. And it's the only part we really need to worry about getting right.